You won't be. You're off the side.
Is it on now or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, weren't we going before?
So no, I guess we were going a little bit. Now we're really going. We're up at Phantom Lake with Senior Mac, Jimmy Baker,
Chris
and,
J.
yep,
And then
and Benny. And so I think one really cool experience that we've shared that I don't think a lot of people have gotten to have is living in a band house. You know, like I lived with Mike Messacomer in his little house on Upper Afton, and in that situation, we were free to create whenever we felt the whim. And you know,
Best feeling.
yeah, Pete McCulley was over there all the time. But I was really impressed with your band house when I first got to know the Crazed Individuals. Yeah, you, Jimmy, and Jake and Jed, and you had that house in Loveland, and the three of you guys lived together there.
Yeah. Down in, yeah. The last one that you were at was Lafayette, Colorado, and that, oh man, that band house was the best. We had some good parties there. But yep, the best part was you can just go downstairs, start jamming whenever you felt like it. Could be 9 at night, could be 9 in the morning. That's rare. 9 in the morning at that point. More like noon. Yeah, good old days. But yeah, that's when I first met you. Is when we played out in the after party for the Estes Park Rock Fest.
Yep, the
And
Estes
that's
Park
when the-
Festival, yep.
Yeah. They had
Yeah.
Grand Funk Railroad, all those. Yeah.
Eric Burden
Eric
and
Burden.
War was
The
there.
Crazy Individuals got to play a second set because
Lou Graham
Lou Graham,
from Foreigner.
the Foreigner, had a heart attack in the hotel. Yep. So we got an extra set. Yep.
So Lou Graham was Estes Park, Colorado.
Yeah.
Um,
He survived though.
my band, Eddie Mack, and Jimmy's band, the Crazed Individuals, were on the same bill with incredible music legends like Had East and was it just Lou Graham or was it Foreigner?
No, he just was going there to do solo stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Grand Funk
Eric Burden
Railroad,
and War,
Eric Burden.
Grand Funk
John
Railroad.
Kay from Steppenwolf.
Yes, yep, John Kay.
Yep.
And who filled in for? Did Eric Burden fill in for Lou Graham with his band? Is that who filled in?
Yeah, well, they asked who was around that still had their equipment. We'd already played our set, and so we're like, we do.
Yeah.
So we got to play while they tried to reset someone up to fill his place. But yeah, I don't know, I can't remember who it was after that. But yeah, Grand Funk Railroad played that night. But then we played the after party, and that's where we officially met.
Right.
We had the Minnesota connection.
Was that Lonigan's?
Yeah, Lonigan's.
Doug Lonigan? Was his
Yeah.
name Doug?
No, it was, oh, why am I blanking? Jed and Jake would throw it off the top of their heads. But yeah, Lonigan's.
So that was a cool bar in Estes Park.
Park, yeah.
And
That was like the only bar in this place. No, there was like 2. But yeah.
we both enjoyed each other's set. We kind of had a mutual respect for each other. And then that's when we found out that you guys are from Minnesota too.
Yeah, and you guys were going back and forth from LA to New York City. And
Yep.
you'd stay on our couch on the way back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think you gained Mike's respect because he cleaned your toilet for the first time in like 6 years.
Yeah. I think it was just more that he couldn't take sitting on that toilet. That he decided to take it upon himself to clean that thing. Yep. Jake downstairs had, we called it Steve, but it literally was like this, it looked like just seaweed at the bottom of the sea. It had grown so long. He just never, for 3 years, didn't scrub his toilet, and whatever it was in Colorado water-wise, or whatever got in there, swamp thing or whatever, started growing. And when it would flush, the seaweed would just retreat down into the hole, and then as the water filled up, it'd come back, and it literally looked like it's floating in the ocean.
Oh my
Oh man! But that goes back to the band house. You can do what you want in the band house.
Yes.
If you got your own toilet and you don't want to clean it, that's your own biz. Yep.
That must have really impressed his girlfriends.
Oh God, I couldn't even imagine those poor things sitting on that toilet. You go worry about. Whenever I was downstairs jamming, instead of using his toilet, I would walk all the way upstairs to use that toilet.
I would have too.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had his double bathroom. But anyways, yeah, Jake was awesome. Jed was awesome.
Yeah, they were
Those
great
are fun
guys.
days,
They
and
were
having
great
you guys. We did a couple multiple shows together once you started coming through.
Yeah, that was, what was the place in
Dark Horse.
The Dark Horse, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
And did you guys play at the Lonesome Dove with us in Lodo? Or did you just
That's
come
so
and see
long
us there?
ago, so many shows ago. I don't know. Yeah, I believe we played one in Fort
Collins for
we
sure.
did Fort Collins, but not Fort Collins, Colorado Springs.
That,
I
yeah,
think we played one together there,
yeah.
and it was almost like it should have been in like an AC/DC video. It had like 3 tiers just around this small stage. It was like everyone looked
Yeah.
down at this place. It was the weirdest setup
The
ever.
theater in the rounds.
Yeah, it was a weird one, but yeah, it was cool.
But yeah, that was always great for us because, you know, we were living on a shoestring budget. And, we would play. So we developed a route from Minneapolis to LA that we most commonly rode out to. So we'd play like a farewell show at the Caboose or something in Minneapolis on maybe a Thursday night, and then Friday night we'd play in Des Moines, and then Saturday night we'd play in Omaha or Lincoln, or sometimes Kearney.
Cardi.
Then it would be off to Colorado, the Denver area. Because Monday, Tuesday, those are kind of low-key nights for music. So
Yeah, you guys would just hang out and we'd chill.
and
Go out.
after 3 days on the road, it was awesome to have this little point of refuge. The Crazed Individual House. And then we got there and we'd cook meals for each other and party, and then maybe on Wednesday night we'd play a show in Denver, and then on Thursday or Friday we might play the Dark Horse. Was the Dark Horse? Was that
was
the
in
place?
Boulder.
That was in Boulder. Okay.
The place that had, it looked like a junkyard inside, but with cool junk. Just the walls were just littered with random things from everywhere. That stuff hanging. It was a really cool bar. I don't know if that's still around, but yeah.
And then we had a friend that lived up in Evergreen, Colorado, and we would sometimes play. What was it called? The Little Bear.
Little Bear, yeah.
In Evergreen.
So. Yep.
But yeah,
And then you guys would head off to LA.
then we'd head up
next
to
week.
LA. Yeah.
And sometimes we saw you on the return. Sometimes you took a different route. But yeah,
Yeah, well, we tried to take the same route because
you knew the gas mileage.
we knew the, but still, we almost ran out of gas almost every leg of the trip.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the thing about it is you want to play. You can't spread yourself too thin. It's
No.
a big country. So if you can time it out where you're playing like the Dark Horse a month after,
Yeah, on your way
you
back.
get pretty good return crowd.
Yeah.
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 So that was fun.
That was good
And
time.
we loved hanging out with you guys. So
We loved having you. Yep. And then we've stayed friends ever since.
that's right.
And that was 2003.
It might have been 2003.
It was because we made our. That was the only time we made. Well, not the only time, but one of the only times that Crazy Individuals made T-shirts, specialty T-shirts. Yep, for Estes Park Rock Fest, but. Yep, and I remember them out in 2003.
Was it Bruce Lonigan?
Bruce.
There we go.
Good call. Yep, it was Bruce. Fun times though. Yep. Could go back and good thing they didn't have cell phone cameras back then.
Right?
You
Yeah.
couldn't document the debauchery.
And then when you moved back to Minneapolis, the timing was perfect because I was looking to, reinvigorate the band and needed solid players, and you and I got hooked up again. I was,
Yeah,
I was looking for, because, Mike needed a break at that time, and
I just got back to town, and you
I think
needed
it was,
me to come to go to Montana.
right.
That was
yeah.
the very first show I ever played with you.
Right.
Is we drove all the way out to Montana.
Montana, Glendive, Montana, and we played Macalusa
And
Park
we
or
played
something like that,
outside, yeah, at some national park or some state park.
which was awesome.
Really cool.
All those craggy
That's-
looking mountains in the
Yeah, and
background.
that's where I took the lasers, which normally, if you have smoke right in front of you, is where the lasers look cool. But the wind was blowing so hard that I took the lasers and turned them around, and we found out that they can go a quarter of a mile and do little dances on the side of a mountain easily. Just the laser dots.
Yep,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Yep. And now we got kiddos. Hey guys. Yep. Not as easy to get out, but someday we'll just take them with us. They can be roadies, built-in roadies.
I remember one time Mike and I opened for Tesla, and we got to meet the band, and I was so taken with the fact that each band member had their own RV, and they traveled with their family.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. I'd like to do that one day.
Yeah. Yep.
Sounds kind of chaotic too.
I was
though.
just thinking to myself,
I thought it
would I
sounded
even be relaxed enough to play a show if I'm screaming into a town, pulling my hair out? Oh God! Can I be in Chris's RV with his family, please? No, I love my family, but there's 3 of them.
But that's something you would think before you had a family. It's
Yeah.
like, gosh, that'd be
That
super
sounds so
cool.
cool, and I'll teach my kids this and that.
The ironic thing is Tesla was probably looking at Mike and I going, these guys are so lucky. Just
Oh,
getting
man,
that minivan.
I wish I was just sleeping on people's couches, rolling around. Yeah, like I gotta take the RV with the kids. Drive me crazy.
We did do a lot of couch surfing because, the agreement, we never made a whole lot of money, but you could make an extra $100 if you waived the hotel room.
Yeah.
So we would, especially on the return trip, usually there'd be someone that planned an after-bar party. It's like, sometimes we'd have a couple different groups vying for us to go to their after-bar party. And it's like, all right, what's going to be going down at your after-bar party? Okay, and your after-bar party's going to have this.
Who's got the extra guest bedroom for the band?
That's right. This guy's got a couch. This guy's got a pull-out couch.
Yeah.
But that guy
Has
is
got
going to
a
have 2
guest bedroom.
futons.
Yeah.
The guest bedroom. So we're going to after-bar party number 3.
Oh,
So anyway, we could waive the hotel room, and but I don't know if I could do it today. All that
Oh.
couch surfing.
Oh, those are just rough nights.
Yeah.
Man, couch surfing, you never know what you're gonna get.
Right.
Because you sleep on that thing and you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, now we gotta drive. Worst couch I've ever slept on. So we went to this after party, the Crazy Individuals, when we were on the road, and so anyways, it's like you see this nice couch and oh, it was so comfy. We're sitting in it, drinking, smoking doobies, just living the good life, the band life. And then it was like, all right, y'all can sleep wherever you want. I'm like, oh, I got this comfy couch that I'm sitting on, It's like, cool, you got the couch. Oh, Jake and Jed sleep somewhere. I wake up in the morning to this, noise above me. And this big parrot, about yay big, squawking and talking. I'm like, and I was just so hungover and just hurting from the night before. And I was like, oh, this is probably 11 o'clock, but in the afternoon.
I think I know where this is going.
So I'm
Is he directly over your head?
directly over my head.
Oh, no.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, and I'm like, did I drool a lot? I got a lot of crust on my cheek here, I'm like, sitting there flicking it off, all of a sudden I'm like, it's in my eye too. It's everywhere. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, what the fuck? And all of a sudden, look, this bird had pooped all over this couch, and it had been there for weeks, probably. It doesn't look like anyone ever cleaned it. And anyways, wake up and all of a sudden, you know, this guy comes out and he's like, oh, good morning. I'm like, dude. I'm like, your couch has poop all over it. He's like, yeah, no, you were supposed to be on that side. That side's whatever his bird's name was. That side's Benny's side. And I was like, are you kidding me? He's like, oh, I didn't mention that to you last night? I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, you just never know what you're going to get. You sit on some guy's couch you don't know, and it's dimly lit, and you're, you know, all having fun. And then you wake up in the morning when there's sunlight and there's poop everywhere. And you're like, this is what we've been sitting in all night? It's like, geez, people. Yeah, so it's hit or miss. Where you could get the pristine couch, yep, and then you can get, yeah. It's usually, yep, you end up sleeping at some girl's house on her couch. Pristine. You end up sleeping on some random dude's house that you met at the bar, and you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah. I remember one time we met this other band in Phoenix, Arizona, and they were like, yeah, you can come and crash at our place. We got extra couches. Well, it was about 4 in the morning. We heard a car crash outside, and these really cool band guys, they all come out of their respective rooms, and they're holding pistols.
Oh.
You know, they run
Yikes.
outside, and they're like, this better not be so-and-so again.
You're like,
And they go running out, and Mike and I are like,
we're out of here.
we're out of here. So we
Oh, yikes.
exited out the side door, and, you know,
Yeah.
a couple hours, that's good enough for us. Let's hit the road.
So basically what we're saying is stay in school, kids. You don't want to sleep on people's couches.
And, you know, even
Uh,
the excitement wears off for your host, too. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
it's super
when-
cool.
When
like,
they wake up in the morning and all their booze the night before when they really wanted you to stay at their house, and yep, next morning when they got a headache and they can't wait to get rid of you, and you're like, well, we actually have nowhere to go, and our next show doesn't start for another 12 hours, so yeah, I thought we were all cool and we're just hanging here, man. It's like, yeah, no.
Yeah, Benjamin Franklin used to say, house guests are like fish. They go bad after 3 days.
Yes,
Well, band house guests go bad after like 12 hours.
12 hours,
Yeah.
yes.
But another time in Flagstaff, Arizona, a guy invited us to his after-bar party, and he had this giant fish tank. Okay, it was really cool. And some dude gets really drunk, and he's doing like cartwheels in the living room, you know, showing off for the girls. And that dude slams into this fish tank, and he's on his ass in front of the fish tank, and he cracked the back of the fish tank,
Oh.
and you see the water like
No.
sloshing around, going down,
Oh.
and this dude's like giggling. All of a sudden his shorts start to get wet.
Oh
He's
my
like,
gosh.
oh no, my roommate's gonna kill me. My roommate's gonna kill me. And he starts trying to, you know, you got girls putting fish in pitchers and stuff like that, trying to keep them alive. And here comes the roommate, and he's like, Steven? Like he knew right away who it was. Hey, where's Steven? And he's like, he went to his room. He's like, all right, I'll be right back. He comes out, and
Got Steven
he's
by
like,
the ear.
yeah, he's
You'll face the punishment.
literally, he had him by the back of the scruff of the collar,
Oh.
and Steven's got an armful of his dirty laundry. He like throws him down. He's like, "Start mopping it up," you know. So Steven's down
Oh,
there
God.
mopping it up with his dirty laundry. Was pretty humiliating for Steven. And like 2 hours later, we were out in the garage, you know, with some more libations or whatever. Steven tries to join the mix, you know. He's like standing in the back, like, yeah, I'm hanging out too. And dude with the fish tank dude turns around. He's like, "What the hell are you doing here? Get back in there. Go to your room."
Yep, you're done for the night, friend.
That was probably, I mean, it was a
man.
big tropical tank, so very expensive fish.
Yeah.
You know. It's,
Yeah. You get involved in some crazy stuff when you go to after parties, you know.
But I will say that in general, when you're in a band, people are incredibly generous.
Yeah.
And they want to be involved. And, they're happy to have you around, and there's an excitement about it in the air. You know, it's and then when you return, it's even better because
You're finally home and you get to sleep in your own bed.
yeah, yeah. And sometimes you're back home and you're sleeping in your bed, and you wake up and you're like, where am I? You know, you've been on the road so long, and every day you wake up, you don't really know where you are. You finally get home, and home isn't home anymore. You know, you wake up and you're like, where am I? It takes a little while. You're like, oh yeah, I'm at the place I called home, which in my case was Mike's little bungalow in east of downtown St. Paul. That place was awesome. I mean, you opened the fridge, there was never anything in there. You know, we just had water and bonds, you know, and
Yeah,
just
that's all you needed.
that's all we needed. And I had my little 9mm camera, 8mm tape, sorry. And there was no view screen. It was just a flip out thing, like a predecessor to the flip phone, this little flip screen that would come out. It was just awesome because we would record rehearsals and shows, and when you don't have something that you got to get to right after the rehearsal or something you got to get to right after the show, you head upstairs and you plug that camcorder into the TV,
Well, it's fresh.
and now you're kind of watching the rehearsal and you're arranging, you're talking about it, what you like, what part could go here, what you could add, and you have it all on record, and it gives you this freedom to create because you don't have to remember what you did. The video camera remembers it all. And then after shows, we'd come home, have like a little private after bar party. If we didn't have an after bar party to go to, put the camera on the TV and review the show. Those were some great times, you know, just reliving the experience right afterwards. Because whether you have an after bar party to go to, or you have just your band house and a couple of bandmates to go home to, after you get done playing a show, and to a lesser extent after a good rehearsal, your adrenaline level is super high. You're not going straight to bed, you know.
Yeah.
So that
It's nice to have the camaraderie.
right,
And chill. Yeah. Jake and I used to watch like Finding Nemo and movies like that we've seen a million times, and just pop it on and just slowly decompress, chit chatting, and then next thing you know, you wake up on the couch and head to your room and go to
Yep.
bed. Band houses. Way to bring it back to the start.
right on.
Thanks, y'all. And it didn't record.